Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, good day to you. That's what I'm going to start saying. Good day. This is lesson 23 of the Intro to Ukulele, or Foundations to Ukulele and Baritone Ukulele class. Lesson 23 is one of the hard ones, and so we're going to have to put our game faces on, and we're going to make this happen. You should pick up the sheet music over at jollyrogerukulele.com. I'm going to go post our link there right now. Control V. It's Thursday, right? It is Thursday, July 8th. Bold, link, enter, edit, settings, open a new window, update. Okay, I'm going over to Twitter, https:// jollyrogerukulele.com. Patience, click up, ukulele, Keith Fanny, foundations, lesson 22, or 23, I think is what we're on, and tweet, and then, all right, we got all that. Let me make sure the link is working properly, and then we'll get going here. Close Twitter out, scroll down, July, clink, and that's working, and drum roll, that's working. All right, so we're all posted up, and let's wait a few minutes to let everybody get settled in here. I will run over and load up the brand new iPad, brand newish iPad. It's been a joy, but everything I do isn't in the machine right now, so I gotta set everything up as we go. There's that, and then close, share, Foursquare. All right, now we're all set. Anita is in. Let's arpeggio. Warmish 80s up in Evergreen. It's 100 degrees here in Denver today. 100. I just checked my phone and it said it's 100 degrees. And of course I'm hauling instruments around in the car. And you're like, oh, this is not good for them. I really don't like that. So, all right. Let's see. Okay, so there's that. Q is in. Hey, Q. Michelle in. 66 and cloudy there in Rockaway Beach. Good to have you, Michelle. All right, guys, let's go ahead and dig into G major. One of the things I notice happens when we get to a hard piece like this is the attendance goes down. And so that's the opposite, right, of what you should be doing. When you get to something that's super hard, you'd be like, man, I'm going to go play with some other people and see if I can get this thing together. And, yeah, so we'll see who shows up today. How about that? And we will mock those who didn't. Key of G major arpeggio. There are a couple of key concepts that I want you to start getting in your noggin, because instrumental players, it's a little bit on us to understand how music works more than just if I was teaching you how to strum and sing. We wouldn't care so much how music's put together. We would only care about, got to make this shape, and then this shape, and that shape, and this shape, and this shape, and then we would sing like little nightingales, and it would sound lovely. But what we're really working on here with instrumentalism is that certain chords and certain music goes together mathematically, and certain things don't. So, for example, in this song, the main chord is G. Okay, and baritone players just play along, right? Grab your chord shapes, and we notice that if we go to E minor, it's going to sound pretty good. Okay, and if I go to C from there, it's going to sound pretty good. If I go back to D, it'll still sound pretty good. So we know those chords go together. Now let me throw in one that I know doesn't fit. Let's say we decided to add in a C sharp. Right? It doesn't go with that. Okay, so in music, some things work together and some things don't. And I'm going to introduce you to the most important thing in folk music, I think, period, is the 1-4-5 system. And the 1-4-5 system goes beyond folk music. It goes into all classical music, a good portion of jazz, I mean, all kinds of other music. I'm just drawing a blank. Disney, movie music. We use a 1-4-5 system. That gives you a predictable pattern for which chords are going to be in your song. So if this song, it's so you put up this. Okay, I don't know. Maybe put this is your sixth finger. Okay, so you've got 5 fingers, and the main one is going to go on your thumb. So hold it up in front of your face. G. Okay, that's the main chord here, G. So then the other ones that go with it, G, and I'm just going to count them off. G, A, B, C, D, E. Okay, so there's your 6 main chords. G, A, B, C, D, E. Now, all of them have certain flavors about them that you'll have to eventually wrap your head around. But G is here. A minor is here. We don't worry about what's on 2. B minor is here. Oh, don't worry about that. The C chord is right here. That's an important one. D or D7 hangs out on 5, and then E minor hangs out over here at 6. So if I'm going to put together a song, right now, I know I just saw Elizabeth wander in. She's in the middle of 50-90. She's going to write 50 songs in 90 days this summer. She's done it 2 summers in a row, and my hat's off to her. But when you are doing that, you're working, and you need certain things just to be without unspoken. And we know that if I'm going to use G as my main chord, C and D or D7 are going to sound great in that song, as well as E minor. So let me just show you. Here's G chord. Here's C chord. Here's D chord. Here's E minor. And here's G. Okay. Now E minor, a lot of times we'll make that the minor 6th. We will sometimes place that as the second chord in the chord progression. G, E minor, C, D, and then you get Duke, 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 Duke of Earl, Duke, Duke, Duke of Earl, Duke, Duke, Duke of Earl, Duke, Duke, Duke of Earl. Okay, so you see that that's not an accident, right? That those chords are working together and that we made a song out of them. They're all mathematically related. We don't worry too much about the math underneath it, but there is definitely math underneath it that makes the chords go together. And if you look in the front page of this song, you see G, E minor, C, and D, and you see that I used it over and over and over and over and over because it works. And when you go to the second page, there's a little bit of melody at the top of the page, and then it's E minor, C, G, D, E minor, C, G, D, G, and then notice the chord right before the end is a D7. That's just still your D. It's just a different flavor of D. And so we are in good, solid music theory. We're very solidly put together for this song. So when you come to music, we usually start, certainly on ukulele, they hand you some chords, they hand you some lyrics, you sing them, you learn how to make those chords. You don't necessarily appreciate the fact that they go together for a reason. They're not there on accident. They didn't just pick random chords and stick on the page. They're really there for a reason. So again, just know that this G, E minor, C, and D program, 1, 4, 5, and 6 minor are going to go together in all of the keys, and they really help you out knowing, hey, these are going to be the chords I'm going to be using, and I'm not going to use any of the other chords. And as you approach songwriting, and some of you guys have been doing lead sheet stuff with me, that knowledge becomes kind of helpful for you in putting together all of your music. Let's see what else we got going on over here in chat. Q says it's 90 degrees there up in Northern California. It's toasty up there. Elizabeth, 98 up in Northern Colorado. My car's AC. Oh, and your car's, well, don't drive anywhere, Elizabeth, except to the shop, right? Jeez, yeah, I was driving around with a couple of instruments in the car, and it's 100 degrees. I'm like, oh gosh, I got to get home. Rob, hey, how are you doing? 91 down in Texas. That sounds like a normal Texas day, what we'd expect. Let's grab these chords. Okay, grab your G chord, 4-finger pattern. Okay, we're going to use thumb, index, and middle on the top string. Hit those 3 together. Then thumb, index, middle, 0, 2, 3. Measure 2. Grab your E minor, same string, same pattern. Well, not really, right? Because now you're going to do middle, index, thumb. Measure 3, grab your C chord. Go ahead and grab your C chord, even though you're not going to play that string you're holding down, and pluck all 3 together. Thumb, index, middle. Grab your D chord, pluck everybody together. Middle, index, thumb. Let's repeat that idea at measure 5. Go. E minor. C chord. D chord. Okay, double bar line indicates that there's a new section or a new idea. Get your brain into a new place, so grab your G chord. We're going to now switch. We've been playing the upper 3 strings. Let's go ahead and switch to the lower 3 strings. So put your thumb on your C string and index and middle there. All right, let's play two G chords. Put your pinky on 5 and play 2 more. Go grab a D chord. Notice it's a half note, so they're twice as long. Repeat it 11. 12. This looks super scary, but it's not really a big deal. All you're doing here is putting a bar on 3 and then putting the A shape. Remember from day 2, here's your A shape. But now you slide it up and put a bar on 3. Becomes a C chord. Let's do 4 of those. And if it sounds like that, that's fine. That'll go away eventually. You got to get your hands a little stronger. But try to get them clean. Push hard. Ready? Go. Don't pick up, just slide forward. Okay, so you're here on 3. Don't pick up, come over and put it back down. Just slide straight up from 3 to 5, and then do that. And notice we're using all 4 strings there. Go to measure 15. You've got E minor, and again you're going to use all 4 strings. C chord. 17 is your G chord and D chord. E minor and your C chord and then your G chord and then a D chord. At the end of that line there's a double bar with 2 dots. That means repeat, and in this case you're going to go all the way back up to measure 1. Okay, let's go ahead and how are we doing on time? We're doing fine. So let's go ahead and play this. We'll play a little bit faster. If you miss a chord, just jump up to the next one. Okay, and then your job over the next couple of days is to really dig in and see if you can't get this is smooth. It's better to play it slow and consistent smoothly throughout than play it fast and have to stop between measures. Okay, so from the top, 1, 2, ready, play. Chord, slide up, E minor, measure 16, C chord, 17 is a G chord, 18 is a D chord. Now, you made it through the first page twice, just like it said. When you go over to measure 23, you see the chords disappear. and that means that, hey, you don't need to worry about anything other than getting this melody clean. I think playing straight melody is one of the more important things you have to learn how to do as an instrumentalist. And it's also one of the most scary because it's either right or it's wrong, right? And so you're going to be playing 2-2-5-5-0-0, and if you goof it up, people will know. Otherwise, so you want to stay focused. Just because it's melody doesn't mean it's easy. From 23, 1, 2, 3, 4. All the way to 10. On the second string. Okay, measure 31, you're going to go to your E minor, and you see the glissandos, the little wigglies next to those, so that means use your thumb through this section. From 31, ready, play. Measure 39, there's no glissandos, so you go back to plucking. And then when I put a fermato over the last note, it means really, 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 really don't lift up your chord until your ukulele is totally dead silent. It means, hey, just let that note fade away into your distant memory. Okay, so I talked about this yesterday, not unimportant. Arpeggios are hard work in the beginning. In the beginning, you are going to struggle with them a little bit. But long term, they're probably the most important thing you can do to really jazz up your chord playing and to decorate melodies that you are working on. So, for example, today in You Are Wonderful Tonight, Wonderful Tonight, I think is what it's called, Wonderful Tonight by Eric Clapton in Book 3, those guys have what's basically not that interesting of a melody, but then when they sit down to write out their accompaniment for it and the tough uke part of that, that's a great place to start thinking about, I'm going to add in extra decorative notes, and usually you resort to an arpeggio pattern of some sort to help fill out those moments in the song where there's just, maybe a whole note and nothing else going on. So don't think this stuff is just an exercise to keep you busy. This is teaching you all of the right hand patterns and all of the left hand patterns so that you can bring that to any type of music that you play, and it'll really turn it into a much more musical and much more delightful experience for your audience when you are actually improvising chord shapes and arpeggios and chord shapes inside of a song that is otherwise those notes aren't there, right? You get to put them in. And so I take this piece kind of seriously, right? And remember, go back to the C one. The C one's a little bit easier to play because there's no bar chords in it. But this G one, we start sneaking in bar chords on you because when we first start, we want this to be the C chord, and we'd like that to be the only C chord, right? But this is also a C chord, and this is also a C chord. Okay, this is a C chord, and this is a C chord. So they're all over the place, right? And you want to get where you know them all. And by playing through these arpeggios, you'll get to know essentially every single chord in every single position. Hey Lynn, welcome in. Thunderstorms. I'll see you tomorrow. Lynn's out. She's like, I'm unplugging. I'm not getting electrocuted. So arpeggio is supposed to teach us what? So what I'm teaching you is the arpeggios are teaching you, in regular ukulele, there's a C chord, right? Somewhere over the rainbow, way up, high, way up high. C. Okay, that's how we play regular ukulele. If I change that to arpeggios, listen what happens. Somewhere over the rainbow's way up high, there's a land that I heard of once in a lullaby. Arpeggios will teach you how to decorate melodies without doing any extra work. The only extra work you're doing is, instead of going strum, 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 you're going pluckety, 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 pluck, and it's going to make you sound like a much more professional ukulele player right off the bat. So that's what arpeggios teach us, Q, is how to sound much more sophisticated than we would ordinarily. So hopefully that answers your question. Hey, Nancy. Rainy and 82 down in Florida. I thought the hurricane passed you by and you were going to be done with rain for a little while. It's Florida though, right? Okay, let's play the baritone one, and you'll get a sense. There is a very overall different feeling. I got too many instruments here. There's definitely an overall different feeling to the baritone one, because on baritone we have a low string here. And whoops, sorry. The probably tore your speaker out. The low string takes away a little bit of the melody out of the arpeggio, and probably not necessarily to its advantage, right? And so what we sometimes when we are talking about baritone, there's a lot of great things about baritone, but one of the things it doesn't have is that it does not have that high G flavor to it, which can be very disappointing in many respects. And so I gotta find my piece of music here. Where is it at? Here's my library. 111 items. 210, key of G. It's the key of D, baritone. Here we go. All right, now, so in other words, this sound here is going to be low, whereas on your ukulele it's a high sound, and it actually ends up sounding a little better, I think, on these arpeggios. Of course, I wrote these arpeggios with the high G ukulele in mind, and so of course this doesn't sound quite the same as what I intended. I finally got the strings changed on this. I had to build a new nut for it, and I've got one string that's kind of buzzing now because I don't think I cut the slots exactly right. So let's see how it sounds. From the top on the baritone one, and by the way guys, if you are on ukulele, here's your D chord, you need to know that one, right? Here's your B minor, you need to know that one, right? Here's your G chord, you need to know that one, and here's your A chord, you need to know that one. All of the 4 chords in this piece will come up in your life, and so go ahead and work on putting them to memory. And if you don't know the shapes, go look them up. Right there, you have a ukulele chord chart just specifically to help you with this. Hey, Linda, welcome in. Raining down in Alabama as well. Isn't that funny? The whole southern coast is getting rained on. Here we go from the top. I'm not going to do the repeat at the bottom of page 1. Okay, I'll just ignore it for now. 1, 2, 3, 4. Page 2, go. again, hold on to that chord at the end and just let the thing ring out. It's got a fermata on the very last note. There's no, you want to just, I think that's just probably a good habit in general. Keep your chord on at the end of a song. Just leave that and let your ukulele ring out. All right, so you know what an arpeggio is, right? It's a chord, and we divide it up. And so in this case, instead of playing D, B minor, and G, and A, we're playing Duke, 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 Duke of Earl, Duke, Duke, Duke of Earl, Duke of Earl. Dun, 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 da da dum, 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 da da dum, da da dum. Okay, and the big thought process behind there is we're taking the chord, we're dividing it up into all of the individual strings to give us some depth of tone to what we're playing, a much more sophisticated palette, and frankly overall a much more pleasant experience for anybody who happens to be listening to you than just clankety 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 clank. I mean, I've spent 20 years on ukulele, and still to this day 99% of the videos I see clank, 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 and it's fine. There's nothing wrong with that, but there are a lot more complex ways to approach your right hand and to make your ukulele sound really fascinating, and arpeggios are a big part of that. So don't forget that you want to spend a little bit of time on this, because it's hard, right? This wraps up the key of G. So on Monday we're going to play Home on the Range and the key of G Arpeggio, okay, and D for you guys in baritone. And then tomorrow we can move over into the key of F. Okay, so just like on piano, the first three keys we learn are C, F, and G. Same thing here on ukulele. We learn C, we learn F, and we learn G. We also, you forget maybe, that the little booklet that we had on day 2, that's in the key of A. So you actually get 4 keys right off the bat, which is a lot. And it should help you expand your chord vocabulary. So tomorrow we'll start into the key of F with Simple Gifts. And the nice part is you've already encountered the worst part of key of F in the key of G Arpeggio, that measure 13 with that crazy C chord. We're going to slide that back to fret 1 and turn it into a B flat, and that will make, by the time you guys get there, you're like, oh, it's just one more weird thing I have to do. And when you get to most ukulele players, they're like, I don't know what I have to do to avoid a B flat. I don't ever want to play one. So, and you won't have that thought in your head, because you're going to play them all. All right, guys, I'm going to reset this stream. Thanks for being here. Hopefully you're playing well. Hopefully the weather is decent where you are. I will see most of you guys in the next class for, what are we doing today? For Elise, Beethoven's For Elise. It's super, super short song, but plenty to keep you busy on, and it sounds really cool on ukulele. So we'll do Beethoven's For Elise. So I'm going to pull the plug on this broadcast and reset it and come back, and we'll do this again. So peace. Hit the thumbs up.